All right, so now that we know how to graph our piecewise functions, sometimes they also want you to evaluate for different x values that you need to put in. And when it says evaluate here, remember if it's just as like g of x, that's a fancier way of saying y. And so it's going to be our output or a y value at -1. And you can do this one of two different ways. All right, first off, if we didn't have that graph, we could look up at our piecewise function and decide -1, what part of the domain is that in? And since -1 is less than 2, we would use the top part of our piece, or the top piece of our piecewise function. Okay, and anyway, I would put the -1 in for x here. Let's try it. This is going to be now -1/2 times the -1 minus 1. -1/2 times -1 is a +1/2, and 1/2 minus 1 gives us a -1/2. So the output at g of -1 is going to equal -1/2. All right, let's try those for the other ones, and I'm going to show you the second way after that. Here it says g of 4. Okay, so 4 is greater than 2, so we're looking at where the domain is restricted. Since it's bigger than the 2, 4 is, we're going to put it into this part. And you can probably do this mentally, 3 times 4, I'll write it out for you. 3 times 4 minus 7 is going to be 12 minus 7, which is 5. All right, and then the second one, or the third one, I guess the last one here, says g of 2. Well, these are both 2, so which one do I use? The one where it's included, right? Since it's equal to 2, I have to use the bottom one. Again, let's do it mentally. 3 times 2 that I'm putting in is going to be 6. 6 minus 7 is a -1. All right, now, does that check out on our graph? That's the second way to do this. So let's see, at -1 on our x, right there, right, it would be -1, we should get a -1/2. And yeah, that looks like it would be about right. So I think that would work graphically. What about at g of 4? Do I get an output of 5? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 over on our x. Is it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes, it is. All right, and the last one, let's just check it really quick. G of 2. Does it have an output of -1? 1, 2. Here there's 2 dots, but remember, use the one that's closed. And yes, it is right there at -1. So you can either check it graphically, like we just did, or if you don't have the graph, you might want to check it using your piecewise function and seeing where the domain is restricted. All right, this next one we're going to go a little bit quicker. This time it asks us to evaluate h of these 3 values. And so here it says h of -2. And so if I look up here, the -2, it's not included in my top one, but it is included because less than or equal to right there. And so because it's the equal to sign, we're going to put it into this middle one. All right, if I put it into that middle one, it says h of -2. So I'm going to replace my x with -2 and copy down the rest. -2 plus 1 is going to be a -1. All right. What about h of 4? Well, here the 4 is clearly greater than 1. So I'm going to say the square root of 4, which of course is 2. And then the last one says h of 1. Well, this one, which one is it going to go in? The second or third one? It's going to go in the third one because this has the equal to sign with it. All right. So again, if I put it into its function there, the square root of my input of 1 is 1. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you. You can pause the video right now and decide, does h of -2 really equal a -1 on my graph? Does h of 4 equal 2? And does h of 1 equal 1? Pause the video and see if it works out graphically.